What no one tells you is that building your first PC, it's not just a project. It's a full-blown emotional journey, complete with denial, frustration, euphoria, and at least one existential crisis. So today, we're walking through the 7 emotional stages of building your first PC. Starting off with the denial stage. This stage hits early. You unbox your parts and immediately get hit with a wave of self-confidence. You toss the manual aside like it insulted your intelligence because obviously you already know where everything goes. You've seen like 2 YouTube videos this month. Soon you're jamming the CPU into the socket the wrong way, trying to plug a fan header into an RGB port, and wondering why the PSU cables look like they were designed by a madman. But hey, you're still convincing yourself this is totally fine. You don't need instructions. You got common sense, right? Then comes the excitement. This is the honeymoon phase. You're pulling out your GPU like it's made out of gold. You've got all your parts laid out on the floor like some kind of sacred ritual. The anti-static wrist strap is still in the package and honestly is gonna stay there. You take your time to snap a few photos to show you off building your PC. You feel like a tech wizard. This is the dream, except the case fans don't come with a hub and your RGB setup needs 3 headers but the board only comes with 1. You ignore that for now, everything's fine. But then the build actually started. This is where things fall apart. You realize your case doesn't come with a fan hub. Your motherboard has 1 RGB header and your fan needs 3. At one point you dropped a screw and you swear it just vanished. You heard it hit the floor, you saw the direction it went, but it was gone. Still hasn't turned up. You stare at the IO shield for 15 minutes because it refuses to click in. You spend way too long trying to connect the front panel cable that was clearly not meant to go where you kept forcing it. And those front panel connectors, at some point you googled if you could build a PC without a power button because you accidentally ripped the header off trying to connect the reset switch. This is where hope begins to die. This is usually when the tutorial starts playing on repeat. You keep pausing and zooming, wondering which port did they use. You begin googling and finding answers that make you feel like you're not even speaking the same language. After that comes bargaining. You start negotiating with your build like it's a person. You're replugging cables, swapping RAM slots, turning the PC on and off like that will magically fix things. You start looking up decade-old Reddit threads, hoping someone had the exact same issue and fixed it with a solution that didn't involve replacing the whole motherboard. And then finally, it powers on. That first successful boot, pure joy. The fan spin, the RGB light up, the screen actually shows something. You're in BIOS and suddenly you feel like a genius. You don't even know what half the BIOS settings do, but who cares? You've made it. It worked. At this point, you post it on Discord. Your friends are hyping you up. You're already planning your second build. You start daydreaming about your next build. Maybe a white themed setup with custom loops, maybe a dual PC streaming rig, and then it stops working. No display, everything powers on but nothing shows. No BIOS, no signal, no hope. Just RGB lights protecting everything's okay. You open the case again and retrace every step. You reinstall Windows 3 times. You check every cable, every connector, every component. You call that one tech savvy cousin you haven't spoken to since 2017. He tells you to check if your RAM is compatible. It's not. You spend $400 on RGB sticks that your motherboard hates. You cry internally while pretending everything's okay. This is rock bottom. You consider going back to a laptop. Oh, by the way, if you're still watching this, please subscribe. I know that sounds desperate, that's because it is, but seriously, it really helps more than you think and it means I get to keep making stuff like this. This video took way too longer than it should and YouTube algorithm doesn't care unless people hit that red button. So do me a favor, subscribe, like, maybe even comment something dumb like stage 3 broke me. I don't know what that means. Alright, desperation over. After enough trial and error, support ticket, and a bit of soul-crushing defeat, your PC is finally running. Your build finally runs. Games launch, everything works. The temps are decent, the RGB syncs, the cable management is non-existent. You sit back, bask in the glow of LEDs, and enjoy the silence, and wonder why you didn't just go with a pre-built. But despite everything, you feel good, because you did it. You built something. And yeah, there were moments you almost gave up, moments of despair, maybe even a few broken plastic clips, but it was worth it. And now you're already thinking about your next build, because apparently you forgot about the pain that fast. Let's just ignore the credit card build for now. So yeah, if you're thinking of building your first PC, just know it's not just about parts and specs, it's a full-blown experience. And you're going to go through all of this. Denial, frustration, euphoria, despair, it's all coming for you. But if you make it to the other side, you'll probably never stop talking about it. And honestly, it'll be worth it. So yeah, that's it. The 7 emotional stages of building your first PC. If you've been through it, drop a comment with your horror story. Let's suffer together. With that said, thanks for watching and until next time.